What are the best cases for the iPhone 16 Pro Max? Well, let's find out. We're going to get into our top 10 cases for the iPhone 16 Pro and Pro Max part 2. Now, I did make a part 1. I'll leave that at the end of this video. That way you guys can check it out. But after all these months that the 16 series has been out, let's find out what are the best cases that you can buy for your phone. So, few disclaimers before we get started. Number 1, there are no sponsors on this video. No brands know that I'm making this. No brands have asked me to put their case in this list. This is not paid for by anybody. Everybody finds out at the same exact time what the list is. Nobody knows about this list except me. Number 2, this is my list. Your list may be different. I'm really excited to hear what you guys think about my list down in the comments below, but please be respectful to each other. Some people like some things, other people don't, so just be respectful down in the comments below. And number 3, of course, all links, discount codes, and videos that I've made for each case are down in the description below. You can find all that info down there. So let's go ahead and get started with a few honorable mentions. These cases are also really, really good, but they're just not quite there to make it in the top 10. I have a ton of cases, so even being an honorable mention is excellent when it comes to the top 10 case list. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first honorable mention we are going to look at is the Benks Armor Air. Now, Benks always does a really good job with all their designs and patterns and all that stuff. So this one's gonna have a really nice texture here. It's gonna have a nice camera bump right there. You do have your open sides for your volume buttons, action button, power button, and your camera control button. Now the bottom and the top are both going to be completely closed in, and I really like that, and that's why this case, out of all the other really minimal style cases, is making this honorable mentions list. But the reason it's not in the top 10 is just because of all of the openings. Now, that's not a fault of Benks, of course, with Apple throwing in a huge wrench into the case game with that new camera control button. There's just too many openings here for me, and I just always worry about this part right here especially breaking because of how small it is compared to the rest of the case. Now that's number 1. Number 2, this case is really, really tough to take off, which is almost a good thing because it's on there nice and secure, but when it does come time to get it off, it almost feels like you're trying to break the case off of the phone. So that's just one of those things that I did want to mention here. And also, of course, Benks has those different patterns, and unfortunately, they're all different priced. I understand different materials may go into it, and designing all the patterns with the aramid fiber may be kind of tough, but these are a little bit on the pricier side, and all the designs have different prices. So for all those reasons, it's not going to be in the top 10, but it is absolutely an honorable mention and is definitely worth noting. Now, it's not going to give you the full coverage as a lot of the other cases will, so that's another reason why this is not in the top 10. However, it's still an excellent case, so you can definitely bet that if you buy this, you are going to like it if you're a minimal case kind of person. Honorable mention number 2, we have the Phone Rebel Air. Now, this case actually dropped down from the top 10 last time. Little spoiler alert on that video. It actually dropped down because of all these amazing cases that have been coming out. They all have one thing in common, at least between my top 10, and that's going to be the camera control button. So real quick, with this case, you're getting a really nice TPU style case. It's going to be TPU all the way around. Nice grip spikes on the sides. Unfortunately, it does not have standalone buttons, but these buttons are good. They're nice and clicky. No issues when it comes to those. They do have the relief slits there. You're going to get nice camera protection, good screen protection with these little claws that Phone Rebel calls it, the 1, 2, 3, 4 claws. Good protection around the corners. However, one thing is that it still does not have a camera control button. Now, for my top 10 case list before, originally when I made the first one for the 16 series, that wasn't as big of a deal because a lot of companies were still catching up. And Phone Rebel did come out with the Gen 6 Ultra, which has an amazing camera control button, and I really wish they would have put it on here because this for sure would have been in the top 10 and probably pretty high up there if it had the same camera control button that the Gen 6 Ultra does, because all around it's a really good case. It's going to have good MagSafe. It is definitely going to be a little bit prone to scratching. The price on this case is excellent. It's sub $30, and you're getting a full coverage tempered glass screen protector with it as well. So you really can't go wrong with this case, but unfortunately I just couldn't put it into the top 10 because of that camera control button. And the last case on our honorable mentions list is going to be the Arc Pulse. Now, This case has a lot of very strong opinions on it. Some people absolutely love it, me included. Other people hate it, they don't like it, they don't like the way it looks. But I implore everybody to actually go and try to get one of these. Even if you get it on Amazon, like I said, links are down in the description below. It's on Amazon that you can try it. One thing about the Arc Pulse, before I ever got it, I was skeptical. But once I got it for the first time for the 15 Pro Max, I've loved it ever since, and I had to have it for the 16 Pro Max. You're getting protection everywhere it counts as far as drops. All your corners, if you drop it on the top, it's good. If you drop it on the sides, because of these raised sides, it's going to be good. If you drop it on the bottom, any of the corners, you're going to get camera protection. You are going to get some screen protection there. As you guys can see, you can set that down. But unfortunately, it's not a full coverage case. So this kind of case is for people who don't really drop their phones. If you drop it, of course, it will protect it, but it's going to have your exposed sides, so it is a little bit more prone to scratching on the back, on the sides of your cases. Your buttons are a little bit more prone to being damaged from certain things. So that's a reason why I couldn't put this in the top 10, but I love the Arc Pulse. I use this case a lot, and as you guys can see, it is holding up pretty well. You got a little bit of scratching right there, but it's not too bad. And also because of the price of this thing, it turns off some people who have never tried it before, because these things start at $70 and go all the way up to $300 depending on the material and the color. So that's just one of those things, whether you either love this case or you hate it, but because it's not full coverage is why it could not be in my top 10 case list. All right, those were the honorable mentions. Let's go ahead and get into the top 10. Now, starting off with number 10, we have the Spigen Liquid Air T. Now, the Liquid Air is a classic. Everybody knows it. You guys know this is one of those cases that is nice and smooth. It's rubbery. It's a TPU material. It's got some flex to it, but it's cheap and it offers you a slight amount of protection everywhere you need it. You're gonna get some pretty decent camera protection there. You're gonna get some screen protection right here. You can set this down, but this is meant to be a nice, slim, minimal style case that's not gonna offer you crazy, bulky protection. So it does that job really well. You're gonna get built-in buttons here. They do have the relief cutouts. Of course, you're getting nice grips going all the way up and down the sides, and the back is going to have this nice textured back here. It's going to be pretty good about your fingerprints, and it's going to have pretty good MagSafe, which we will take a look at in a second. But the reason that it's on the top 10 is they added this camera control button. Now, as you guys may already know, and if not, you'll find out in this video, Spigen has the standard just about of the camera control buttons for third parties. Everybody who knows, or you compare a case to, you always compare, how is it compared to a Spigen's Ultra Hybrid or a Spigen Liquid Air T's camera control button? Even the Tough Armor has a camera control button now. Well, if you guys know anything about the Spigen, like I said, you're going to get an amazing camera control button. I just took a picture there. It's going to be good to go, rock solid. Like I said, Spigen came into the game early when the 16 series came out, and they really set the standard with that camera control button. The Liquid Air T is absolutely no different. Now, I wish it did have a little bit of stiffer sides, as you guys can see there, bottom and top, and it is going to, of course, have good MagSafe. We can go ahead and test that out. Like I said, I mean, all day long, you can sit here and give that a shake, and it's finally going to come off after a good bit of shake. But that is one of the reasons why this thing is not going to be higher in the top 10, but it is still definitely in the top 10, is just because of the fit. Like I said, I wish it was a little bit more stiff, but it does the job that it's meant to do. It's not meant to be a crazy protective case, and the Spigen Liquid Air T absolutely nails it. Plus, it is a sub $30 case. I think this case is like 23 or 24 bucks, something like that. So you really cannot go wrong with the Spigen Liquid Air T. If you buy one, you can even buy it as just a little mess around case when you're just at home and stuff like that, where you don't need too much protection. And it is still 100% worth the price. So absolutely, because of that, the Spigen Liquid Air T is going to be number 10 on that list. Coming in at number 9, we have a case that not a lot of people have heard of, but if you have heard of it, you know how good this case is. And of course, we're going to be talking about the Tineeowl case for that 16 Pro Max. Now, just taking a look, we're getting some good camera protection right there. You're getting some pretty decent screen protection, can definitely set that down. One thing I really like about the Tineeowl is that their action button is a completely different shape than the rest of the buttons. So that's really good that if it's in your pocket and if you use your phone like I do with the action button, it's my mute switch. I miss the volume rocker where you would just have the little tab. You switch it over to silent or you switch it up to loud, and it was great. I miss it. Didn't really need the action button, but they did a great job differentiating the action button from the rest of it. You're going to have built-in buttons again here, but they do have the relief cutouts in there, so they're easy to click. The sides, everything is good, and of course, they came out with the camera control button version. Now, before we look at that, just taking a look, you're going to get some, it's kind of hard to tell on this model, but you do get some little grip dots right here, micro dots right there that do add some grip to it, but the rest of this case has a very similar feeling to something like the Kadabe Sheath, where you're going to get, it's a little bit of more of a watered down version. That's kind of what I said in my review. It's like a mix between the Sheath and the Synthesis, but it's a little bit more watered down, meaning not as intense of grip spikes. The buttons aren't as great, and the texture on the back isn't as textured, but it's still enough to where you get a very good grip on here. And this case offers you everything that you need. It's going to have a pretty good fit. Could be a little more tight, but not bad for the price. Like I said, this case is like $25, $26. Again, another budget case. That's one thing about this list, at least in the beginning of it. Budget cases are doing excellent when it comes to this year's 16 series, and a lot of it has to do with the camera control button being added to them. So you don't have to go out and spend 30, 40, 50, 60 bucks on a case when you can go pick up something like the Tineeowl, like the Liquid Air T for under $30 and really be good to go. This is going to offer you some more protection than that Liquid Air T. It's going to have some nice microfiber on the inside. And of course, let's check out that camera control button here. Let's go ahead. Like I said, guys, I mean, this thing is rock solid. It's going to do exactly what it is that you need to do. Tineeowl came through and they really gave us an exceptional camera control button. It is just about as sensitive as Spigen's, as Apple's, everything like that. I have absolutely no complaints when it comes to that. So with that, they did a really, really good job. And of course, bringing over our MagSafe base, we can test that. And, oh, good catch right there. We can test that, and it's going to hold on to your MagSafe bases just fine. So, of course, your car mount, your nightstand charger, you're not going to have any problems with this case. And because of that price, because of the camera control button, the fit, the feel of it, this case had to be in my top 10 this year, which it actually wasn't in the previous video. So this case definitely got a good promotion in my list, and it comes in a few different colors, so you get a few different options to choose from. So that is why the Tineeowl is number 9. Now coming in hot at number 8, we have the Spigen Ultra Hybrid T. Now, when this case came out, it changed the camera control game because everybody at first was like, oh, well, you know, probably Apple's going to have the best camera control button. I really doubt that other cases are going to come out and, you know, have as sensitive, as good, as clicky of a button. Spigen said, hold my beer. No. We're going to come out with an amazing camera control button within like the first couple of weeks of the iPhone 16 series being out. And we're going to come out with such a good button that we're going to just set the standard on the camera control button. And that's exactly what they did with the Ultra Hybrid T. Now, this is going to be the black frosted version. It, of course, comes in a fully clear version, a whole bunch of different colors and options. If you guys know Spigen's cases, you know exactly what they offer you, exactly what they don't offer you. And what it's going to give you is a great case at a very good price. It's going to be, again, a budget style case, but it's going to give you the protection that you're looking for from a more premium case. You're getting the little legs right here that are going to offer you some protection for the back. Of course, like I said, it does come in the different options, so you can get a clear one, you can get a frosted, black frosted. My personal favorite is the black frosted, but I do wish that they left the sides like they did for the 15 Pro Max, where they were completely darker and they were a little bit more stiff. But even on this case, you have really no issues when it comes to anything. The buttons are going to have a little more give. Bottom and top are pretty decent. But when it comes to it, this is going to offer you some good drop protection, good screen protection right there, good camera protection right there, and all around just a solid case. It's not slippery whatsoever because of the TPU sides. The back is this nice polycarbonate. It doesn't scratch too easy. Now, one thing about it, though, is that the clear version is definitely going to yellow after a while, and that's why I couldn't really put this case up higher on my list. But all around, even if it does yellow, for the price of this case, you can even buy another one in a few months, and really, you can end up spending less over the course of time than buying a couple of more premium cases and you're getting a lot of the same features. So like I said, this case, sub $30, you can pick one of these up, and if you want to, pick up a few different color options and use the clear one, for example, when you go out somewhere nice, all that, but you can use a black frosted as the everyday, day-to-day case. It's not gonna yellow, and it's gonna look really good over time. Now, like I said, they did come out with that camera control button. It was the standard, and of course, they color matched it here with the black one, which looks really nice, and you guys know what I mean. Spigen's, really came in here and was like, here, this is what we're gonna do. We want the rest of the competition to come out and be like us, because we're gonna go ahead and set the standard and make it exactly what it needs to be and prove to other companies that, hey, look, if you put some time and some effort into it, we can come out with an amazing camera control button. So all around, the Spigen Ultra Hybrid T, you're getting so many good things with it. Of course, they are going to be the built-in buttons, again, with the same relief slits. They are TPU buttons, but they are nice and easy to click. You're going to get, if you know Spigen, you know that MagSafe strength. We all know the Spigen MagSafe strength. It's really, really good, and the Spigen Ultra Hybrid T is no different. So for all those reasons, I absolutely had to put the Spigen Ultra Hybrid T on this list, and that's why it is sitting at number 8. All right, number 7, we have the Benks Armor Pro. Now, this is the montage version, but really it's good for the Prestige, the Aurora, any of their options that have a camera control button. So you are going to get a metal camera ring here. One thing I miss is that I wish they kept the metal buttons, or at least standalone buttons, on all of the options like they had for the 15 Pro Max. Of course, the Aurora and the Prestige, they do have them, but my favorite is this montage. I love the way that it looks. It is going to have your camera control button, but I really hate that it doesn't have these standalone buttons. I think this case would have been just that much better because of it. So if you guys saw on my last top 10, the Armor Pro Prestige, I believe it was actually really high up, but these new cases that have come out, the updated versions of cases with camera control buttons, have really kind of dropped this case down. But don't forget, number 7 is still good. Out of the tons of cases that I have, number 7 is still really high up there. And of course, the Benks Armor Pro is an excellent case. You're gonna get some good camera protection there, some pretty decent screen protection right here. You can set this down on its face, and that's that. The buttons, even though they're not standalone, they are still clicky. They are gonna have the built-in TPU buttons with the relief cutouts there, and you're getting a nice full coverage case. I love that the camera ring is metal. I love just the way that it feels. It's not slippery whatsoever. Taking a look at that camera control button, let's go ahead and take a look. And as you guys can see, Benks did an excellent job with their camera control button as well. This thing is really good, and Benks nailed it when it comes to all of their camera control cases. But I just hate that, number 1, all the different patterns have different price tags. Just like I said with the Armor Air with the honorable mentions, I do wish that they were all uniformly the same price. I do wish that all of their Armor Pro models had the camera control button, because the classic 600D does not have it for some reason. And I would love that, because I love just a plain aramid fiber looking case. And unfortunately, they don't kind of give the same love to all their cases that they do others. And it's going to have some good MagSafe. So of course, if you guys hear that, just listen out to this. Come on. That's solid MagSafe on this case. Absolutely no issues when it comes to that. But because of those reasons, it feels like they cheaped out on the buttons. Don't yell at me. I'm just delivering the message here. It does feel like that. I'm calling a spade a spade. It feels like, the prices are very different. Some of the prices get pretty high up there. In my opinion, they shouldn't all at least be that price tag that they're at. I don't like that all the different colors have different prices, and I really wish that all of their cases had the same kind of buttons, the same kind of camera ring, and all of them had that camera control button, at least with those 3 things coming to the Armor Pro. But still, all around an excellent case, and that's why the Benks Armor Pro had to be at number 7. Coming in at number 6, we are going to have the Dbrand grip. This is going to be the most customizable case that you can get for the iPhone 16 series. And of course, they make them for a whole bunch of other different phones. All your favorite Android phones, a lot of them, they will have a Dbrand grip for them. But on here, of course, because of Dbrand skins, you can get a different looking case just about every day, depending on how many skins you have. Unfortunately, they're not reusable, but it is what it is. Once it's on there, it is on there. This is going to be the glow-in-the-dark circuit case. It's also going to come with a camera skin if you want to. I did not end up installing it on here, but one thing that's really cool about this, let's turn off some lights here. Let's get dark. One thing is you guys can see it is going to glow in the dark. And that's a really, really cool thing when it comes to the Dbrand grip. They have so many different options that you can possibly have with the skins, all that. Of course, you're going to get good camera protection. As you guys can see, the camera bump is not too high, but if you see that the way this case is shaped, it kind of plateaus up here, and that's because this is going to be the only case on this entire list, in this entire video, that's not gonna rock at all. So it's still gonna offer you good camera protection. It offers, the name is the grip. It's giving you intense grip here with these rubber spikes here. The rest of it has this like sort of sandpaper material feel on it. It feels really, really good. This thing, no matter what you have on your hands, this case will never slip out of your hands. It is a solid case. It's going to offer you really good drop protection, very good screen lip, as you guys can see right there. But when it comes to the sides, you get that nice comfortable swiping without a really tall side right there. The bottom, even, it gives you a sort of a little slope right here that it is swipeable, easily swipeable on the bottom and the top. All around a solid case. Of course, it's going to have good MagSafe. Now, one thing about the skins is that they do interfere a slight bit with the MagSafe strength. It's going to be a little bit better when it comes to the MagSafe on the case without a skin, but even still, let's say it's on your car mount, you can still, really hit a few potholes before this thing ends up coming off, and it's gonna hold the mount with no problems besides me dropping it on my desk there. It's gonna hold it with no issues. Of course, enough of a shake will make it come off, but it's gonna have really good, even though they are built-in buttons, good buttons here. They are nice and textured all the way around. And of course, we're getting a camera control button that works pretty well. I would say it's up there. It's about 85% of the way there of something like Spigen, something like Benks, things like that. But it does have some hiccups every once in a while. However, I would rather have a camera control button that does have some hiccups every once in a while than no camera control button at all. But between the 16 series and the 15 series, one huge improvement they did was that MagSafe, and I'm all here for it. The Dbrand grip is a classic. It's in my rotation. I love this case a lot. When I want something different, a different kind of feel, I'll peel this skin off and slap on a different one. And it is what it is. It looks like a whole new phone. They have so many different options to customize and choose from, and that's why absolutely the Dbrand grip had to be in the top 10, and it is sitting at number 6. All right, top 5, let's go. There are about to be some seriously heavy hitters coming up on the rest of this list. Let's go. Starting with number 5, we have the Ryan London shell case metal is what I believe this case is called. So you're going to get the metal camera ring here. They also do come out with a version that's leather camera ring, but I prefer the metal one here. You're going to get super nice, wide, metal clicky buttons. They are standalone. They work really well. Very nice shape to them, so it's easy to grab with your finger. Very good grip. Of course, amazing feeling, full grain leather. This is going to be right up there when it comes to leather quality with something like the bull strap. But because this is number 1, a full coverage case, and number 2, we have that camera control button. This case, when Ryan London came out with it, they took the leather case game by storm because they actually came out with a solid camera control button. You're getting, before we get to the button, some good protection for the camera there. You're getting decent screen protection for a leather case. You can set this down. Of course, with the full grain leather, you're going to get the patina. It will show some scratches, nicks, and dings and stuff, but in my opinion, that adds the character to the case. It makes it look more beautiful. Unfortunately, I can't use this case enough to get a very good deep patina on it, but I've seen your guys' pictures out there on Twitter, on Instagram, all over the place, which, by the way, make sure you follow me on my socials. I'm on there all the time. Links are down in the description, but you guys have posted this. I've seen some gorgeous patinas on there. I'm low-key jealous. I wish mine had that good of a patina on it, but it doesn't. But either way, let's get to the attraction, which is going to be that camera control button here. When Ryan London came out with it, like I said, we are getting a great camera control button right there. Absolutely no issues with it whatsoever. It's going to work every single time. You can take a picture and you have no problems. So all around, I love the leather feel of this case. This is the leather case that I go to 99% of the time when I want to use a leather case. They do have a few different color options that you can choose from, which is nice. You get like 3 of them. You get black, dark brown, and this brown right here. But they all look good. They all look super elegant and classy. It's going to have a great feeling to it. When you first take it out of the box, give it a couple hours. It's going to get a lot less slippery really quickly. And then it develops this very nice feeling after you get a little bit of those finger oils on there. Feels great. Excellent camera control button. You know we can test that MagSafe. You're going to get good MagSafe, at least from a leather case. You don't expect anything too crazy, I should say. But either way, it'll definitely do the job. It'll do exactly what you need to do, whether on your car mount, your nightstand charger, any of that, your pop sockets, your MagSafe battery packs, Apple wallets. You'll have no problem, your MagSafe wallets. You'll have no problems when it comes to that. All around, this is an excellent, excellent leather case. Took the leather case game by storm, and that's absolutely why the Ryan London had to be at number 5 on the top 10 case list. Coming in at number 4, we have the Dbrand Ghost 2.0. This is probably the most hyped case I've ever seen in my life. Between the original Ghost and all the changes and improvements they've made with the new Ghost, I couldn't not leave this case on this list. It was on there last time. You better believe it's on there this time. So you're getting, of course, a clear case here. You're going to get great MagSafe strength. We'll test in a second. This case will not yellow. If it does yellow, Dbrand will replace it for you for free. It's going to have pretty good camera ring protection there. The only downside as far as the protection is the screen on here. This practically has no screen lip. If you set it down, it's still riding around on the edge of the TPU here around the sides, but there's barely any screen protection here, which is one of the biggest reasons this could not be higher on my list, even though number 4 is already crazy high. But I would love to see some better screen protection here. But we are getting built-in buttons. They are the TPU buttons with the relief slits. You can see them, but they're still nice and clicky. Excellent grip going all the way around the entire phone with those ridges right there. Everything is really good about it. And of course, we do have the camera control button. Now, one thing about this camera control button, if you guys can see, it does move a little bit. So that sometimes I've noticed does affect the performance of the camera control button. But for the most part, it's still a really good camera control button. It's about same as the Dbrand grip, about 85% of the way there. As you guys can see, it is pretty responsive. We can go ahead and go this way and that way. But Dbrand, if you guys are listening, I would love to see this be stabilized so it doesn't have that little bit of movement. I think that would make the camera control experience even better than it already is on this case. Now, some people have had some issues with the camera control button. I was fortunate enough to where my case worked pretty well the whole time, but all around, the Dbrand Ghost is going to be an excellent case. I use this thing a lot. As you see, it's not really scratched up anywhere. I don't really have a lot of scratches or really any noticeable scratches like that on there. I set it down all the time, slide it around, do whatever it is that you want, and you know that the Dbrand Ghost 2.0 is going to have you covered. Now, will it eventually scratch? Sure, it'll show little micro scratches and stuff like that. No case is going to be 100% scratch proof, especially not a clear case, but I love that it doesn't yellow. I've put a lot of hours of use into this case. Zero yellowing whatsoever. It has worked very well for me, but because of the screen lip and because of the camera control button that some people have had issues with, as well as it only really just having the one option, it's a clear case, it couldn't be higher on my list. And of course, bringing over that MagSafe, I mean, that's some serious MagSafe strength, especially for a clear case. I mean, you got to give that a really good shake for that MagSafe charger to come off. So for all of those reasons, the Dbrand grip is sitting at number 4 on the top 10 case list. All right, we're getting close. Top 3, let's go. Number 3, we have the Kadabe Paragon. Now, this is that new midnight color. Kadabe this year came out with the Paragon. They added some great new colors to it, and this case is incredible. So you are going to get a pretty good camera lip right there. Screen lip, the top and the bottom are going to be a little bit more raised than the sides, so you can definitely set this down, be good to go there. But your sides are going to be easily accessible for swiping, which is really good there. It doesn't interfere. On the sides, you are going to get your nice ridges right there for grip on the right-hand side and on the left-hand side. You are getting standalone buttons here. As you guys can see, I actually put the Scarlet buttons on the Paragon, on the Midnight Paragon. They do originally come with just black buttons, but I went ahead and put on the Scarlet because I love the black and red combo. Those are my two favorite colors. I think it looks really good. But of course, with the Paragon, Synthesis, and Sheath, you can interchange the buttons. I think this is an absolutely stunning combo. It's going to have really good grip. The back of it is a little bit more on the slipperier side because there's no grip on the back of it, no real texture. It's going to be a slight fingerprint magnet when it comes to the Midnight version, but of course, if that bothers you, you can always go for Moonstone or for Ruby. Those won't really show fingerprints nearly as much as this one will, but even still, this one is pretty good about the fingerprints there. All around an excellent case. Of course, we have that camera control button here, and let's just test that out. And one thing, Kadabe made us wait. Boy, did they make us wait. They made us wait for a long time. However, the wait was worth it. We're finally here, and Kadabe gave us an excellent top-tier A1 camera control button that has absolutely zero issues there. So, the Paragon, I love this case. It's been in my daily rotation. It's been in my weekly rotation a lot. Number 3 is a very good spot for this case. It even has good MagSafe strength. Let's go ahead and test that out. And you guys know the Kadabe MagSafe strength, man. I don't have to keep going on and on about it because it's good MagSafe strength on there. Everything about this case is so solid. The only reason it couldn't be even higher is just because the back of it is slightly a little bit slippery, so you are going to have to kind of focus on the side grips for the most of the grip. But when you have the phone in your hand, it's not going to be slippery at all. Once you get a hold of those sides, everything is just fine. All around, the colors are great, the MagSafe is great, the buttons, of course, are great. They're standalone, very clicky. Everything is good about it. Camera control button is great, and that is why the Kadabe Paragon had to be at number 3 on my top 10 case list. Now, number 2 is a case that almost was number 1. This case was number 1 for so long on my list before shooting this video, up until only about a month or so ago, and that's going to be the Phone Rebel Gen 6 Ultra. Man, this thing is incredible. Let's talk about it. First of all, of course, look at that camera protection right there. Insane camera protection. Very nice texture on the back. Great grip spikes that go on both sides. Amazing, nice metal clicky buttons. Very good MagSafe strength, which we'll test in a second. The camera ring here is interchangeable, so you can put a kickstand on there if you want. You can put the Ultra camera ring on there if you want. This thing has a lot of customization options. Of course, different colors. You can interchange the Rebel logo there. You can interchange the button colors. You're getting good protection here for the back. I love that they removed what they called the claws right there because it makes it feel so much more comfortable in the hand, but you still do get them for the screen. So you're going to get great screen protection here, just like that. Set it on whatever surface you want. All around, this case is amazing. Like I said, it was almost number 1. The only thing that I don't like about it is how much removable stuff it has. So the Rebel logo here, I could easily, if this would just go away and this would be nice and smooth there, I would like that even more. In my opinion, I'm not a huge fan of this being interchangeable because I feel like it can get easily lost. And then when it comes to the camera ring, it just requires a screwdriver and all that, which that can make it so you have some missing parts because the screws are so small, but they don't unscrew on themselves anymore, which is a really nice improvement. Everything about this case is so good. Of course, let's bring over that MagSafe. And, you know, one thing about Phone Rebel, it's going to have a solid MagSafe connection. Go up and down with it. Everything is going to be just fine. And it even is going to come with a tempered glass screen protector all in the box for a really good, really reasonable price point for everything that you're getting with this case. And again, it was almost number 1. It's going to have that really good camera control button. Let's go ahead and test that out here. And I mean, look at that. If they only put this on the Phone Rebel Air, this same button, it would be so much better. This button is so good. Very nice, very responsive, and I'm a huge fan of this case. If it wasn't for this next upcoming case who got an updated camera control button, you would be looking at number 1 right here. So you definitely cannot go wrong with the Phone Rebel Gen 6 Ultra. Absolutely lands and deserves that number 2 spot. Number 1, maybe you guys guessed it, maybe you didn't. Pause the video right here. Let me know what you think number 1 is, which of course you can just continue and you'll find out in a couple of seconds. But number 1 goes to none other than the Kadabe Sheath. Guys, let me tell you something. I mean, those of you who know, you know. The Kadabe Sheath is excellent. It is exceptional in every single aspect when it comes to the case. You're getting great grip going all the way around with this nice, like almost sandpaper feel. You're getting nice interchangeable clicky buttons here. You're getting a very super minimal design. No crazy logos, no crazy branding. You just get this little tiny little Kadabe logo right there. No big deal. Nobody will ever even notice it's there. Super comfortable to hold. You're getting good camera protection. You're getting good screen protection there. You can set this down, and that is riding around on the screen lip right there. All around, this case is just so good. This is the case that I use the absolute most, but that's for good reason. I have access to all these cases. What you guys don't see is the huge storage unit sitting right over there. Another one, as you guys can see, is sitting right here. Let me actually touch that. Sitting right here, full of 6 big 12 by 12 cubes, full of nothing but cases and some other accessories. And the Kadabe Sheath is definitely my number 1 case for the iPhone 16 series. It's gonna have a super good fit around everywhere. The buttons are a little bit more loose than the rest. Top and bottom are good. Buttons are good. Of course, we have color matched camera control buttons that they do have on all of the colors. It does come in a few different color options that you can choose from, as well as, of course, those interchangeable buttons you can change in a bunch of different colors as well. But just look at that camera control button. It is so smooth, so easy to operate. Just give it the slightest little flick, and it is good to go. I absolutely love the Kadabe Sheath. This camera control button is excellent. Kadabe did make us wait for a while for this case, but it was 100% worth the wait. And when the Kadabe Sheath came out, man, I put this thing on my phone and I've been using it a lot. Of course, I use all of my cases. You guys know how it is, especially us case lovers. We know how it is. We always are switching, but I just always find myself going back to the Kadabe Sheath. Between the black one and the gray one, I love it. And that's why this is going to be the number 1 case for the iPhone 16 Pro Max. But let me know what you guys think about the entire list. What do you like on the list? What don't you like on the list? And let me know your top 10, or at least your top 5, down in the comments below. I can't wait to hear what everybody has to say and what you guys like, what you guys don't like. I love to see that kind of stuff, so definitely let me know. Make sure you guys like the video and subscribe to the channel. That goes a really long way for me and allows me to make these kinds of videos for you. And if you guys want to see my original top 10 case list for the iPhone 16 Pro Max, I'll leave that video right here. But if you want to see my original review of the Kadabe Sheath, my number 1 case, I'll leave that video right here.